Is this finally some good news for the former cable TV star Meghan Markle, sometimes known as the Duchess of Sussex, regarding that now, well, seemingly forgotten acting career? As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London, and as ever, nice to have your company. By the way, it's funny, isn't it, when you're looking through things? I met someone the other day, can you imagine? And they were one of the original producers of this particular show. If you lived in the United Kingdom way back in June 1959, this was, of course, the hottest show to be on, Jukebox Jury. It was basically a lot of fun. I'm not quite sure if anybody else had a version of this around the world. What it really had was a bunch of celebrities, and then they would be played records by the host, David Jacobs. He had a wonderful broadcasting voice. And the bottom line was, it was a hit or a miss. Sometimes, to spook the celebrity panel, they would bring out some of the singers hiding behind the scenes. It must have been horrendous, can you imagine, if you'd have said, oh, I don't really like this song. But of course, apparently, according to that producer, they said it was just great fun. Television was in its infancy, and on the very first panel, by the way, was a very much celebrated singer of an era, sadly largely forgotten now, Alma Cogan. I don't know if you remember her or indeed remember her songs. My particular favourite, I Couldn't Resist Her with a Pocket Transistor. They don't write songs like that anymore, do they? Back as ever to your breaking world story of the day. This really all centres upon, as we know, Meghan Markle claimed in a recent podcast, archetypes that she didn't want to return to the world of acting. I know, a great loss. You can see how the Oscars and the Tonys must be crumbling at this mere suggestion that she doesn't want to return to the small screen. But are things about to change? Because as we know, earlier this year she had plans to become a huge mogul, a producer, all thanks to the David Furnish now axed Netflix series, Pearl. And I'll tell you more about that as that unfolds over the next couple of days. Some interesting news developing there, as ever. But this particular story is indeed interesting because, as you remember, basically when Harry and Meghan were in London for that, Disney premiere, you will recall that Prince Harry tried to shoehorn a work offer from the president of course, the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger. And if you remember, he said, yeah, we can have a chat. Yeah, that sort of thing. A little bit non-committal. This resulted, of course, in Meghan voicing over an elephant documentary. I know you'd forgotten all about that, hadn't you? I'm not sure what sort of success it was, and apparently the fee from that particular association was going to go to a charity. Once again, allegedly, we're not quite sure exactly what that charity was called, or indeed how much was donated, but we'll leave that there for now. What's interesting in this, though, is this. Meghan herself, according to a very good source, sees this as an opportunity now that Bob's back in a powerful position to reconnect. Now, we're not quite sure if this is going to be for production, filming, or indeed acting. But either way, Bob better brace himself as he sits back into the CEO chair, because according to a very good source, Meghan sees this as well, basically a new awakening, a new direction. As we know, he had to step down for a while, but now coming back to save the company after a series of disastrous woke-themed movies that have literally tanked at the box office. So he's got a lot of work on. Quite whether, of course, he will decide to invest once again in the former cable TV star Meghan Markle remains to be seen. But as ever with Meghan, I don't think she sees this as a problem. And perhaps her dream of becoming a Disney princess could actually now once again become a reality. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.